Hello. Today I would like to talk about Christopher Columbus, the Italian explorer whose voyages across the Atlantic Ocean led to the European discovery of the Americas. Let's know it. Christopher Columbus was born between October 25th and 31st, 1451, in Genoa, Italy. He was an Italian explorer and navigator who is famously credited with discovering the Americas in 1492. Columbus grew up in Genoa, a bustling maritime city, where he was exposed to seafaring life. His early career was in the merchant navy, where he gained experience in navigation and trade. Columbus believed that by sailing westward, he could find a shorter route to Asia. At the time, Europeans sought new routes to Asia to access its spices, silk, and other valuable goods. Columbus approached King John II of Portugal, but they rejected his proposal. He then turned to the Spanish monarchs, Queen Isabella I and King Ferdinand II, who were in the process of uniting Spain. In 1492, after years of negotiations, Columbus was granted ships and crew to sail westward to find a new route to Asia. Columbus set sail on August 3, 1492, with 3 ships, the Santa Maria, the Pinta, and the Nina. On October 12, 1492, after more than 2 months of sailing, Columbus and his crew reached land. This land was not Asia, but an island in what is now the Bahamas, which he mistakenly thought was part of the East Indies. Columbus continued his journey, reaching Cuba and the island of Hispaniola, modern-day Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Despite not finding Asia, Columbus believed that he had reached the outskirts of the continent. Columbus made 4 separate voyages to the New World, exploring parts of the Caribbean, Central America, and South America. He never realized he had encountered a new continent and spent much of his life believing he had found the westernmost part of Asia. Although he never reached Asia, Columbus' voyages had profound consequences for world history. His journeys paved the way for the widespread European exploration and colonization of the Americas. Columbus returned to Spain in 1493, where he was welcomed as a hero. He was awarded titles, land, and riches by the Spanish monarchy, but his later years were filled with controversy. As governor of the territories he claimed in the New World, Columbus was often criticized for his harsh rule. He faced charges of tyranny and mismanagement, which led to his eventual arrest and return to Spain in chains in 1500. Columbus was later released, but he never regained his previous power or prestige. He continued to assert that he had discovered new lands while searching for a route to Asia. Columbus died on May 20th, 1506, in Valladolid, Spain, still convinced he had reached Asia. His legacy, however, would grow over time, with the Americas becoming a central part of global exploration and trade. Columbus' voyages marked the beginning of European exploration and colonization of the New World. His discovery of the Americas led to the establishment of the Columbian Exchange, a movement of goods, crops, and diseases between the Old and New Worlds. The impact of Columbus' discoveries reshaped the global economy and led to the exchange of crops such as potatoes, tomatoes, and corn. However, the arrival of Europeans also brought diseases like smallpox, which decimated native populations. Columbus' voyages also sparked a new era of exploration, known as the Age of Discovery. His journeys were instrumental in opening up the Americas to European exploration, trade, and colonization. Columbus' discovery of the New World had a long-lasting impact on history. It is seen as the catalyst for centuries of European exploration and colonization of the Americas. While Columbus is often celebrated for his role in opening up the Americas, his actions and the resulting European colonization are controversial. The treatment of indigenous populations by Columbus and his men led to many debates about his legacy. Some view Columbus as a hero who bridged the gap between the Old and New Worlds, while others criticize his role in the exploitation and mistreatment of native people. Columbus' arrival in the Americas marked the beginning of a period of profound cultural and ecological change. Despite the controversies surrounding his voyages, Columbus' exploration changed the world in ways no one could have predicted. His discovery led to the creation of vast empires in the Americas and reshaped the balance of power in Europe. Columbus' voyages inspired many subsequent explorers, including Vasco Núñez de Balboa, Hernán Cortés, and Ferdinand Magellan. These explorers expanded European knowledge of the New World and paved the way for the spread of European culture, technology, and influence. Columbus' voyages also laid the groundwork for the establishment of trade routes between Europe and the Americas. His exploration helped spur the transatlantic slave trade, which brought millions of Africans to the Americas. Columbus' voyages were a turning point in history, signaling the beginning of a new era of exploration and cultural exchange. His discovery led to the rise of European empires and the expansion of global trade networks. However, Columbus' legacy is still debated today, with some calling for the removal of monuments dedicated to him. Critics argue that Columbus' voyages led to the destruction of indigenous cultures and the exploitation of native people. Columbus remains a polarizing figure, with his achievements recognized by some while his actions are condemned by others. In recent years, Columbus Day has been challenged in many parts of the world, with calls for alternative holidays to honor indigenous people. While Columbus' voyages were significant in shaping world history, they also resulted in negative consequences for the native populations of the Americas. The impact of his voyages is still felt today, as the effects of colonization and European expansion continue to shape global politics. Columbus is often celebrated as a brave and visionary explorer, but his legacy is also marred by his treatment of indigenous people. His journey remains a symbol of both the possibilities of exploration and the dark side of European colonization. In the end, Columbus' discoveries played a major role in shaping the modern world. His voyages opened the Americas to European exploration, trade, and colonization, and sparked centuries of change. Columbus' journey marks one of the most significant events in history, influencing the course of civilization. While we may debate the consequences of his actions, there is no denying the magnitude of his impact. Today, Columbus' voyages are still taught in schools and celebrated by many. His exploration changed the world forever, and his legacy remains a pivotal moment in human history.